You were on The Bachelorette.
Hey, that's an interesting story. So
Let's talk about that because you're on The
yeah,
Bachelorette.
I missed. I kind of skipped right over that. I'm like, how did I miss that? Right. So
Yeah.
I was at the state attorney's office, and
Mhm.
in sometime in I want to say maybe late 2016 or early 2017, I'm having lunch downtown Fort Lauderdale. This restaurant that they used to have there called Grill 401, which is
Yeah.
right next to YOLO. I'm there with some of my buddies, and we're having lunch. And this middle-aged white woman walks up to our table, and I'm dressed, I'm in a suit. I'm at the state attorney's office, right? And she goes, she comes up to me and says, "Hey, my name is so and so. Are you single?" I'm like, I don't know if she's trying to hit on me. I don't know what's going on. But I tell her I'm single, and that I'm just having lunch. And I like to brag about this story because she asked me, and even though I was with other guys there, so obviously she was drawn. I mean, she was choosing, right? So she purposely avoided them. Came to me. I was with my friend Quentin Morgan, and I want to say it was Harold Pryor. I don't remember. I think it was Harold. But
Harold Pryor, the state attorney from Broward County.
Yeah, yes, sir. So in any event, she says, I say, yeah. I say, why? Why, you ask? She says, well, I am a producer on the show called The Bachelor. And, we're looking for eligible bachelors to come onto the show. And, would you be interested? And I said, sure. She gave me her card and told me to text her. In that way, she would stay in contact with me. I remember putting in her number and texting her. And I was one digit off. I didn't even realize it. But about an hour later, right before I was about to leave, she comes back to my table and says, hey, you didn't text me. I said, yeah, you did. I show her my phone. She goes, no, that's the wrong number. So I always look back at this and say, man, I was this close to not getting on television. But let me speed up. So after that, I want to say within a week of that meeting, I had a Zoom interview with her and others from the franchise. They come down to Fort Lauderdale and they have a headquarters. Usually they have castings at the Riverside Hotel. I didn't realize that's what they were doing during that time. I had an interview on Zoom about a week later. 2 to 3 weeks after that, they flew me to LA for another meeting with probably 30 different producers. And then within a few months, I'm in LA at the Bachelor Mansion, and we're filming on season 13 of The Bachelorette with Rachel Lindsay, who was the first Black Bachelorette, the first Black lead in the Bachelor franchise. So crazy freaking story. Crazy story.
Could you have ever envisioned? I mean, had you ever seen The Bachelor or The Bachelor? Was that the first Bachelorette?
I saw it in passing. I had never watched the full episode, but you're scrolling through TV, you see something on ABC. I always thought it looked interesting, but it wasn't really my type of show. But no, not in a million years would I've ever thought that I would be on The Bachelorette. Funny story. So when the lady came up to me and told me about The Bachelor, I was so naive. So I thought she wanted me to be the main guy.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm like,
that would have been the better one, right?
That would have been a better one. And that's The Bachelor. So I ended up. So then it's funny. So when they called me in a few weeks to interview for The Bachelorette, I said, "Oh no, sorry, there's been a misunderstanding, a mistake. You guys want me to be The Bachelor?" And they thought it was so funny. They said, "Listen, perhaps at some point, but how it usually works is you start off on The Bachelorette. If you don't make it all the way to the very end, chances are you become the lead to be the Bachelor in the following season." So, but that didn't happen for me. I had a great experience. Got to meet Rachel, got to meet a lot of contestants who I remain close with, or at least cool with today. I'm cool with Brian, who won, who ended up getting married. Him and Rachel, they actually just got a divorce. More sad to hear. They just, that's something news. But Eric, Demario, Iggy, Diggy, Will, all of us.
You were on the one with the wrestler, right?
The wrestler, yes, Kenny, yeah, man. So it was a really fun experience. I got to go skiing for the first time. Learned to ski by going on The Bachelor. Yeah, oh, wow. we went up to, was it Vermont to go ski? We also went to Hilton Head in South Carolina. I even flew to Norway. That's where I got kicked off the show in the freaking freezing cold. I had to take a flight for like 4 a.m. back to Fort Lauderdale, like a 14-hour flight after having been drinking, getting no sleep, and they put you in the back in economy on a 14-hour. It was brutal.
Do you find that when you're on that show they start like almost typecasting you as like a heel almost, or like
Yeah.
they kind of make you look like a certain arrogant level on the show, or some guys are more humble and whatever.
Yeah. I was certainly the jerk. I was the comedian, the funny guy, which was good. But then I was also the cocky guy, because now we joke and do some cocky stuff, and they play that up, and it is what it is. I'm not mad at it because I tell people the story. It's because of that show why I landed my first $1 million case.
I was going to go into that, yeah.
Yeah, because I was on that show. So when I started working at Killer Ustall, we're downtown Fort Lauderdale, right? And there's a Publix right by the courthouse where I used to shop because I live downtown. And I'm shopping at that Publix right on Andrews and, right there by the courthouse. And I'm shopping there. And an older Black woman right after the show, she comes up to me and goes, "I know you. I know who you are." Like, you don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, who, She goes, "You know where I know you from." I laugh and I say, "Yes, The Bachelor, of course." And we just have a conversation. In the conversation, she tells me that she's shopping for her best friend, buying food and groceries because her best friend's daughter was just killed in a car accident, like 3 days before. Mm-hmm. She had no idea I did personal injury car accidents. What she knew me from was being a prosecutor from The Bachelorette. I tell her what I do. She goes, "Oh my God, can you come speak to my best friend and her family?" And I say, "Absolutely." I've never signed up a case at this time. I've only been a personal injury lawyer maybe less than 3 months for sure. Want to say just a month or two. So I drive to her apartment in Lauderhill, Florida. I stop by my office. I get a retainer package. And I meet with the mom and the family. It's probably 30 people in a very small apartment in Lauderhill. I console them, I counsel them. I discuss the case with them. I sign the case up. The very next day, I open to make a claim with the insurance company, Geico. I tell them, "Hey, I represent this client. This person was killed, da, 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 da." On that phone call, the insurance adjuster tells me, "Well, there's a $300,000 policy, Mr. Graham, and there's also a $1 million umbrella policy, and we're going to pay it." So within 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, I settled the case for $1.3 million just because this lady recognized me at the grocery store. So that is the power of media. That is the power of, people knowing you. That's why I preach time and time again to, post on social media. In this day and age, you got to be if you have some type of brand, if you have some company, if you have a law firm, you got to be on social media. And that's why I preach that every day. But yeah, that was my very first case.